Music in games is something that I love to talk about, but this is not what I'm talking about. What I'm really talking about is this.
No further debts to be paid. Atlas can rest his...
When you play a game like Metal Gear Rising, you know that you're getting that high intensity Platinum Games action, the rock, the metal, whatever it is. When you play Jet Set Radio, you know that you're getting the synthetic cyber bops of Tokyo-To. Those aren't what shocks you. Those are soundtracks that are made for the game that they're in, and they sound good, but they sound like they belong in that game. I can play 4 notes from a song right now, and you'll know what song it is. Did I trigger you? When I was younger, I played an indie game from a little developer called Super Giant Games. It was called Bastion. I only ever played Bastion for 4 hours in my entire life. I only played it for one night, November 29th of 2015, for 4 hours from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And I remember the exact moment that game changed me. Bastion is a short game. I cleared it beginning to end in a single night. It's about the end of the world, and you play as the kid. You are going around saving whoever you could find and trying to figure out a way to fix the end of the world. Pretty early in the story, one of the first people that you rescue is this woman. I'm not gonna get too in depth, but you have never met her before. The only way that you know about her is when you enter the area and you hear singing. You go through an entire stage, beginning to end, with the singing getting progressively louder as it goes along. And finally, no fighting, no sound effects, just music.
I dig my hole, you build a wall.
If you've played Supergiant games before, you'll know that this isn't really unnatural for them. In Hades 1, you have the parts with Eurydice, the safe rooms, where you can always hear her singing when you come in. In Hades 2, when you go back to the crossroads, you can hear the same thing. You can hear either Artemis singing, or you can have Melinoe sing. But Bastion did it a little differently. Later in the game, depending on the choices that you make in Bastion, you are given the option to save the life of somebody that betrayed you earlier in the game. You are carrying your friend through an apocalyptic hellscape with people trying to kill you with bows and arrows the entire way. All of a sudden, his theme plays. All you hear is the singing, the arrows, until eventually the arrows stop. And you are there quietly marinating in the moment.
Kids probably dealt was off by now. You reminds me of myself when I was his age. I ever tell you about those days?
Now that is actually not what I wanted to talk about from Bastion. What I wanted to talk about was later in the same game. At the end of the game, again, depending on the choices you made, you get one final cutscene. You hear a reprise, a new version of a familiar song. Except this time, as it plays along, you hear a familiar voice.
Ahead of myself, though.
And beyond that,
I'm gonna need a
you
first
hear a
aid.
second familiar voice.
What do you say?
Experiencing a moment like that changes a man. I never cared much for video game music before that. But that moment, 4 hours of my life, 10 years ago, redefined what music in a video game could be. Now let's talk about something a little bit more exciting. Final Fantasy X is a game with deeply religious themes. The main songs that the game is known for are To Xanarkand. It's this melancholic, depressing track about the cycle of death in this world. The Hymn of the Faith plays throughout the game and changes slightly depending on the area that you're in. It focuses a lot on the people's prayers and the hope that they have in this world of endless suffering. So when you get to the final boss and he bursts onto the scene with fucking heavy metal music playing, you know you're in for some tough shit. Ironically, I want to talk about another game, Final Fantasy X's spiritual successor. I'm going to pretend all the other Final Fantasy games don't exist, by the way. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 exploded onto the scene, and I was one of the people that was lucky enough to download it the morning that it came out. I saw the trailer a few years ago. I love turn-based games. I really wanted to give it a try. But it had one of those moments that also fits into that thematic music explosion that just changes the pace. It's not an epic moment, nothing that changes the game's story or anything like that. But the fight against Monoko really takes the cake and cements what he's going to be as a character. Never did I expect a saxophone to take over and rule as the best song, not necessarily opinion, in a hauntingly beautiful music whole game through. And suddenly we get a wooden man that loves to fight with his saxophone blasting in the background. Recently, I had the displeasure of playing Pokemon Legends ZA. And I'm going to reserve my thoughts on the game for another time because this is not a criticism video about Pokemon Legends ZA. Pokemon is known for having pretty good music, but it all just sounds like Pokemon music. Except one singular fight in Pokemon Legends ZA. Jacynth or Yacinth of the SBC is an amazing track. In a game of jazzy themes for the overworld along with this intense battle music, we suddenly get Electro Swing in the middle of it. And it is amazing. It is great. The kids yearn for Electro Swing. Anyway, I want to cut to the point. The main reason I made this video was actually to talk about a different game. A little known Steam game that exploded onto the scene recently by the creators of The Binding of Isaac. That little game is Mewgenics. What you're hearing right now is actually the main area theme of the first area, and it's cute. I think it's a pretty good theme. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's not particularly outstanding. It does its job. Binding of Isaac was known for the same exact thing. The music worked. Wasn't particularly outstanding, but it was good. Until you get to the boss of the area.
Tasty legs and crispy thighs on my mind. I'm so hungry now, I'm gonna chase 'em, grab 'em, fry 'em.
By the way, Mewgenics is a game about breeding cats to fight for you in a turn-based RPG. Mewgenics does this with every single stage. There's an instrumental that plays over the entire stage, the entire area going forward. And all of a sudden, at the very end of the area, the boss track changes everything. It adds vocals. Mewgenics does this with every single stage. There is instrumentals that play for the entire stage leading up to the boss. And when you get to the boss, the vocals start. Now, I am almost as excited playing the game to unlock new things and to beat the boss and see what happens, as I am to actually just hear the tracks when I get to that boss. There's something magical about a game developer knowing when to make the music stand out. And knowing when to make you have to lock in on the music that's in front of you. I'm not saying that the song needs to break conventions, but it needs to be able to stand out in what could already be an amazing soundtrack. It allows the average person to kind of take their mind away from what they're playing and realize, wait a second, this is a piece of art. This whole thing is a piece of art. This whole game is amazing. And I want you to remember one important thing. I made an entire video about songs in a game that's about breeding cats, cat eugenics, to fight for you. Music is a way to make something timeless. Games, shows, whatever. Whether you like it or not. Give me some more examples in the comments about those music moments that changed you in games. I asked a few of my friends. They of course listed off games that I never played. But if I do, oh yeah, you better believe I'm going to be talking about that in the future. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.